This meeting may come to order. This is the Round Table Youth Sports Talk. We are here to talk about New York youth football. Is it watered down? Is it too many leagues, too many organizations, too many coaches with one team? Here to talk about it, Tyrone Franklin, Vice President and Commissioner of the Big Apple Youth Football League. Garvin Dolleman, Commissioner, New York City Youth Football League, also President of the Brooklyn Skyhawks. Just Hall, one of the architects of Unlimited Football in New York City, one of the founders of Empire Youth Football League, and he's also the president of the Brooklyn Chief. Bill Solomon, one of the architects of Big Apple Youth Football League, formerly president of Empire Youth Football League, and currently president of the Brooklyn Titans. Anthony Maxwell is here, president of the New York Players Flag Football League. Welcome, guys. Can a league operate totally independent? Like, it's some leagues, and I'm not going to say some names, it's some leagues. I have to question them because, just like I said, I hear what you're saying, but I see what you're doing. It's just my observation. In some leagues, you see it, like you see certain decisions they made, and when I try to question about it, not saying Big Apple because he's been very open to me about his moves. Right? Other leagues, what you doing? Listen, because I question it. Can you totally operate? Because I believe a league's supposed to be totally independent. Their business is different than an organization.
You want me to answer that, Milk?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Big Apple is operating totally independent. I'm independent. I don't have an affiliation with any organization. Any organization. All the rules in Big Apple is adhered to by everyone because I don't have an affiliation. I consider all of Big Apple's organizations mine. Every last one. From the Chiefs to the Kings to Hudson County Dolphins to every one of our organizations, I consider them all mine. So I treat them all the same. Now, do I expect more from some organizations because they're more long-standing and I expect more from them? Absolutely. But Big Apple is totally independent because I don't have an affiliation.
Mr. Garvin?
Well, for New York City youth football, it's slightly set up a little different than Big Apple was because we won a conference, and what happened is that the then commissioner passed. So his sons and one gentleman named Jack Lang, they wanted to take over they were going to take over the league, which was fine. We didn't mind that. But what happened is that one of Nick's sons wanted to act like Nick. You can't act like Nick because you're not Nick. Nick has these relationships with all these organizations. You can't come in and state and say and speak the same way, and that was the same thing we tried to tell Jack. So what happened is that we turned around. We said the organization said we want to do is we want to have a board. We want a commissioner, but we want to have a board. So this way we can vote on some rules, and it be fair. The commissioner will just enforce the rules, and so that's what happened. So we're independent, but we're not totally independent in that. I do have an affiliation with an organization. But the one thing I can tell you, and they can all tell you, I'm impartial as a mother. Because I've already suspended.
You can separate.
Yes, I've already separated. I've suspended coaches for my own organization from being at games because of their behavior. I don't care. My thing is, we have rules. We have bylaws. We follow those bylaws. It's like we put that paper down. This is how the league is gonna run. Flip through the pages. Go ahead, because during the year, it's never gonna change.
Right.
It's those, the rules are the rules. I've had guys come to me on the side and try to whisper in my ear, you know, I mean, I said, what did the bylaws say?
Absolutely.
You have something that somebody can reference from.
Right.
Like me having a media show, and if I have a question, you say, Uncle Bill, here's our bylaws. So I can go, oh, okay. I have some that.
That's
okay.
what it is. We have bylaws.
beautiful.
That's their reference. And you know, when an organization is coming in and they're new, I immediately, what I do is I usually email them the year before's bylaws, because we may go through a little change in the bylaws for the present year, or we don't know that yet. But at the time when that person he's trying to, or she's trying to get into the league, I still want you to understand the rules, because it might not fit you. And that's what it is. I'm giving you an opportunity. It may not fit you. You don't like this, you don't like that, or why do you do this, or why do you that? If you have to ask me why, then it don't fit you.
Bill, we got something on the screen. Is that us?
I couldn't hear what you said.
The question, the topic was, can a league operate totally independent? Because I know some leagues have organizations
That running.
that indirectly or directly running it, and we want to know, because I feel, just like I said, I feel a league should be totally independent. Totally independent.
I mean, this is where,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really kind of a tricky question because, I mean, Empire was started on the premise of, organizations who have common interests being able to come together and manage themselves in a democratic way. Unfortunately, I say this is on me. I learned the hard way that, not every democracy ain't for everybody. I think the demise of Empire can be directly tied to people with different interests, different visions, really changing the direction of the organization. So can a league be run independently? I think that yes, it can, but I think Big Apple has started to get to a sweet spot, as well as New York City, where there's independence, but there's also input. I think there has to be input from the organizations because, my point was that I have an organization with 150, 160 kids. You have, the Chiefs have an organization with 150, 160 kids. We are tasked with representing those families and those kids. So, we need to be able to have a voice to help to make sure that what's impacting our kids, we have a vested interest in this. So I think it's important for the organizations to have a voice, but I also think there has to be, an element of, consistency in terms of, as Garvin pointed out, these are the rules. Here are our bylaws. We ain't moving from this. This ain't gonna change.
Absolutely.
And I think that is critically important. And we had an independent commissioner. I think at minimum that's important to have. Garvin has demonstrated that he can be independent. But that's always a question, right? Particularly with the big orgs. The Skyhawks are, one of the grandfather orgs in the city. So, is Garvin gonna, just do things in favor of one org? And frankly, that was at one point what was the perception of Empire and was the perception of Big Apple as well. That just certain orgs got everything. And I think to the extent that has gone away, I think that's a big positive. I mean, I think that's one of the pluses that frankly, that Tyrone that brought to bear. And from what I've seen of New York City football, Garvin, you have as well, in order to maintain some level of independence and have some credibility.
Josh, is you there?
Yeah.
Josh, your take on it?
I mean, I kind of agree with Bill on that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I agree with him on that, you know what I'm saying? I agree with Garvin on that. I mean, like, I think Garvin and them do a great job of doing an independent league. Like you said, it gotta be done right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, that's independence. They rules is they rules. This is what it is. You don't like it, you can leave.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it depends. You know, that works for them. Might not work for everybody else, but you know, I don't really have too much to say about how you want to do it. But you know, just make sure you gotta make sure you're doing it for the kids. That's what the bottom line. That's how I look at it.
Basically, you're right. Basically, the kids in the game is more important. And if you're doing the right thing and you're transparent, that, you know, the most thing is transparent.
Transparency and honesty.
And honesty, that's the thing. And someone asks you a question because they are part of it, or they you know, it could be a parent, a coach, or a president, whatever, could say, hey, listen, blah, 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 I didn't, and you're transparent. You say, well, it did this way, hey, it solves the whole thing, you know? You want to chime on this? Yeah, okay. All right. The next thing